All right, folks, welcome to an exciting second season right here on the Reno Viola Outdoor Web Radio Network. I'm your host, Ben McQuinney. You're listening to Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio. On the line is none other than the big MC himself, Big Jim McLaughlin. Thank you so much for being on the show again.
Hey, you're welcome, man. Live from Reno Ferry. The dream now.
So, big season again. Here we are. It's 2014, and the boat show is underway at the International Center. Jim, tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, I'll be at the Toronto International Boat Show, and I'll be at that one starting next Monday until Friday. I'll be there all five days during the week. That's my schedule. Then we get a little break there, Ben. Then we go 3 weeks in a row. Then we go to the Toronto Sportsman Show, and then the Spring Fishing and Boat Show, and then the Ottawa Boat and Sportsman Show, where I do my big kids pond there, the big mental jackpot casting pond, where all the kids get something for free for playing, and we'll put like 1,500, 1,800 kids through in the week with the show there. It's just an awesome thing to watch all these little kids. The marquee event of the show. It's really cool.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, Jim, anybody you want to say hi to or give a plug to as we kick off the show season?
Down to the Bay of Quinte. I haven't been for a couple of years. Just hasn't worked out going down there. And I'll be out there with Matt Hay and tomorrow, and a good buddy of mine, Brian Pollock, who also lives over here by Reno Ferry. So we're gonna mosey on down there first thing in the morning and meet up with young Matt and get out with him. And he's a dynamite ice fisherman, boy. He's a diehard guy. He's fished Quinte, most of his life living around there, and he's usually got a finger on what's going. And he had one plan, and then he went out for a day here today, and he said, we're going to do something a little different. And he said, we're going to go back and just fish one little area that a few guys go to. But he said, I guess he was on it today, and he did not catch fish today. He said, well, big ones. But he said he saw so many fish, it was crazy. They're just meandering around. He said he'd watch them on the Vexilar come in, have a look, go away,
Yeah.
That type of thing. And so hopefully we're going to take a chance to just get the big fish, get some pictures tomorrow. If it works out, it does. If it doesn't, that's all good, too. It's always nice to get out there. That's a wonderful fishery, and I always have a good time there.
All right. And, Jim, as you know, being a seasoned veteran of show season as well as myself, what do you have to to say to the rookies coming on the scene this year? That show stadium is going to be packed full of new faces, and what do you have to say to them? Any tips to survive the show season?
Well, surviving the show season, it's just get old, then you don't go out at night drinking beer, and you don't have to worry about feeling bad the next day. You'll see some of the young ones there that have pain in their eyes in the morning, and you can't heckle them too much because I used to be one of the young ones standing there.
Yeah.
Hey, it's really cool. Before I go to the Toronto Sportsman Show, in fact, the weekend of the Bowmanville Tackle Swap,
yep.
February 1st, Ben, I'll turn the big 6-0.
I hear that. So we got you, myself, and a bunch of other people heading on down to the Bowmanville Creek Anglers Association tackle swap, so that's going to be exciting.
Time at that last year, like just a little deal like that, but there were so many people there. They were in and out, and there was some good deals for a lot of guys. They traded, they swapped a lot of stuff. They had a kids casting deal. They're getting some more support from the fishing community this year. Shimano's going to have sort of like a pro panel type thing there with some guys and whatever. So it's just really, really good.
Yeah, it's grown leaps and bounds since last year. And Peter Seto, hats off. Thank you very much for inviting me to come down and be a part of it. So, all right, Jim. Well, you have fun on the Bay of Quinte there, and hook me a walleye for me.
I hope I hook you about a 15-pounder. I'll let you know if I do. You'll hear me screaming.
All right, fair enough, folks. Big Jim McLaughlin. You'll see him around. He's the man wearing the Shimano jersey, and he's quite large and in charge. Take care, Jim.
Take care, man. You be good.
All right, folks, welcome to the new year. We're here on the Ben McQuinney Outdoor Radio Show. I'm your host, Ben McQuinney, right here on the Reno Viola Outdoor Radio Network. My guest, we know him and love him as the bass and biologist on Twitter, Jason Barnucz. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ben. Glad to be back.
Well, it is showtime, and you're one of the faces that that are in and around the booths this time of year, and you're going to be at the Berkley booth. Tell us more about that, Jay.
Sure. So this year, Ben, I'm going to be at the Berkley booth during the Toronto Sportsman Show, and just showcasing a lot of the new products from Berkley. That some of them a lot of us heard about them during like ICAST in 2013, but during this winter and spring, they're going to be available to everyone to use.
Awesome. So there you have it, folks. There's our tackle block. And if you want to know what's new, definitely plan to attend the Spring Fishing and Boat Show and the Toronto Sportsman Show this year. And you'll find Jason at the ginormous Berkley booth, and all the other ambassadors will be on hand to answer any of your questions as well. Great group of guys you are. I have a lot of fun in the Berkley booth every year.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. It's a real mix of people, and what I mean is, we got like Sheldon Hatch, who's a walleye guy, and we got a couple others who are sort of trout and salmon guys, and I'm a bit of a bass and panfish guy, and so we really mix it up, and it's a pretty unique, dynamic group of guys. Just for some of your listeners, we can just touch base really quick on a couple of the new products that I think people, when they're out at the shows, want to be looking at. One of the products coming out from, I've been a big Berkley Trilene user since I could carry a fishing pole. That's the honest truth. Trilene XL and XT from when I could walk. Trilene has revamped their lines.
Yep.
And this year they got a couple new versions coming out. So last year they had the new and improved XL and the new and improved XT. And this year they got a new Trilene braid that's come out. And
wow.
A new 100% fluorocarbon. What they've done is they've just tweaked these a bit, but the braid is brand new. So I'd expect some of the diehard Trilene users out there are probably going to give those a shot when they're going to be looking to move into the fluorocarbon or braid field. And the other two products this year that I'm excited about, Ben, are from the Berkley Havoc line, the Berkley Flat Dog, which is a soft stick bait that has a really different fall than a Senko. It's been different, and I think guys are going to want to give these a go. I've had some real success last fall wacky rigging it, actually, either on a weightless rig or even as a drop shot, and it was a great bait. And the other one that's come out is a backslide that was designed by Michael Aikenelli, and it's actually a stick bait that's designed to slide backwards into cover away from you as you cast it. So a couple cool baits out there that maybe some of the anglers and some of your listeners are going to want to get their hands on this winter.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. Jason Barnucz, the Bassin biologist. You can catch him on Twitter and Facebook, and be sure to stop by the Berkley booth. And how's your ice fishing season been so far? Any tips?
Yeah, absolutely. Ice fishing, I live down in Norfolk County, and so the last couple winters, we haven't had a lot of good ice. Got out a couple of days here and there, and I'm loving this, I guess they're calling it the Arctic vortex that we're in right now in South Central.
Something.
It's an ice-making machine, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So I'm able to get on some of my little panfish haunts, some of the kettle lakes down near home, and ice fishing's been great. I love panfish through the ice. I target mostly bluegills and pumpkin seeds and crappie, and I actually, the last couple of weeks, has been really good. And I try to time it around. We were talking before the show about timing. We got another low-pressure system coming in after this big Arctic cold blast, and I think the panfish and a lot of different species will be active this weekend, but I'm looking forward to getting some big panfish this weekend through the ice. And I've really been whacking them on small baits. Specifically, Berkley came out with some baits last year called what's called the Atomic series.
Yep.
And there's an Atomic Fry, Atomic Wishbone, and Atomic Dog Bone. They're all tiny micro baits that are infused with power bait formula, and they've been working great for me for some real nice big bluegills last weekend. Had a few pushing the 10-inch mark, and I got a couple big crappies in the mix too. So those tiny baits have really been doing well, and I plan on using them more. this winter before the trade show season really starts to compromise my ice fishing time.
Absolutely, and we know that once the ball's already rolling. Well, it is already rolling because the International Center has host to the boat show right now, and there's definitely boats and fishing getting started there. So yeah, the micro group of baits that you were talking about, I use those for spring, like ice out for crappie, and they're deadly. So
well, and to add to that, last summer, if anyone follows me on Twitter and on Facebook, I'm always out with my kids fishing, especially my son. And last year, I used the atomic baits because they come in a package with a couple of jig heads and the baits ready to go. And if we're going out just for a day of fishing, and Dad might be bass fishing at the front of the boat, but Trevor, my son, he likes to switch it up, so he'll throw his float out, and those little baits, they catch panfish all year round. He actually won biggest rock bass at the local kids derby on an atomic wishbone bait last summer, so he was pretty proud of that. And he's got his own favorite colors. They don't jive with mine, but he does pretty good.
What is your what's your go-to? One of the go-to colors, not the go-to color, but one of your go-to colors this time of year for pan fishing.
You know what? With the panfish colors, if it's kind of turbid water, dirty water, I'm going to go with something fairly bright. But a lot of the reservoirs I fish are fairly clear water.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at a lot of the natural prey that's out there, they're kind of almost translucent.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some colors like they make like a chartreuse silver fleck, and there's a pumpkin seed one. But when you look at them, they're almost see-through. And I think Berkley really had a good idea here, because by having those sort of translucent baits, it really imitates small prey in the water, like some of the zooplankton that are kind of floating around that a lot of these panfish are feeding on all year round, not just through the ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But small translucent baits, and sometimes you got to go down real small. I will mess around too, give a tip out to some of your listeners. If I'm fishing deeper than 10 feet, I'll definitely like using some of the tungsten jig heads out there.
That is exactly what I had suggested to one of my listeners and fans online. They wrote in and asked what's the best way to get down deep when you're in deep water fast, and I said nothing faster than tungsten.
A lot of my panfish rods, I'm running Fenwick Elite Tech ice rods with 2-pound Berkley, just their monofilament ice line.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to get the bait down there quick, and those little tungsten heads with some of these atomic baits on the back, they are just really lighting it up for me. And especially, yourself, I use a flasher,
mm-hmm.
and when those fish come in, they usually come in groups. And so I can get my bait back down to that group of fish real quick before they take off. And those tungsten heads will get me 2 or 3 more bites every time a few come through the screen. I'm pretty certain of that.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. 100%. And do you use any extra electronics out there other than a flasher? Do you use like a camera or anything?
Yeah, if the situation allows. My flasher is kind of my go-to. I run an FL20 flasher from Bexlar, and it's kind of my go-to electronic on the ice. Actually, I walk out and drill. I love drilling holes because I like covering water. It gets kind of tiring doing that after a while. But with the flasher, I'll use that to mark my depths and get some sort of initial fish. But I have an AquaView camera. It's actually one of the mini ones with the recording feature. And when I was on Lake Simcoe last week doing some perch fishing, that camera helped me determine the size of fish that I was dealing with, because on Simcoe, there's perch everywhere. Everywhere I go, I can find perch. But the day that I was out there was finding some decent-sized fish. And so you put the camera down. Now, on those cameras, a little 7-inch perch can look pretty big, depending on how close it is to the camera, of course. But after you can look at the average size on the screen, you catch a couple of fish off the camera, then you realize, these fish are just not the right size I'm looking for, and I'll move around. reservoir I was at on the weekend, it was kind of dirty, kind of turbid, and so I didn't have as much range with the camera, so I tend to lean towards my flasher more that day. So it's a tool. They're both great tools, but I'll definitely say my flasher, to me, is my starting point. But there are days where the camera takes over and helps me catch a few more fish.
Cool. Awesome. Jason, it's always a pleasure. Super pumped this year to be touring around the stadiums in Mississauga and Toronto and Bowmanville. So wherever you are, we'll definitely hook up and exchange some laughs and tell some fishing stories.
That sounds great. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year. I am Rob, and you're on the water with the Assassins. We are so excited for what the new year has in store for us. With lots of new friends, big adventures, and interesting opportunities, who knows how it will end. We want to thank our sponsors Streamside, The Swedish Pimple, Kamikaze, Power Team Lures, Milton Outdoors, and of course, the greatest clothing company on earth, Fish Bum Outfitters, for their amazing support. Check us out at www.facebook.com/TheBassassins. Feel free to ask us any questions. We look forward to sharing our tips and any advice here on Ben McWhinney Outdoors Radio. Tight lines to all you braving the ice. Let the good times roll. Until next time on the water with the Assassins right here on Ben McWhinney Outdoors.
In a live studio with Trish Austin from Wawang Lake Resorts. Trish, great to have you here.
Thanks, Ben. Good to be here.
Well, it's show season, and we're kicking it off again, and this is times where people are out and about, and they're checking out the boat show that's taking place right now, folks. We have the Spring Fishing and Boat Show about to kick off, the Sportsman Show. We got shows happening all over the place. Lodges. Everybody's going and talking to lodges, and you're a female lodge owner.
Well, I'm not a lodge.
Well, not lodge owner,
I'm
but
a GM,
you're
which
a
general
GM.
manager. So I'm technically what they quote unquote call the bucket bitch. So you might want to bleep that one part out. But
okay.
My job is the heavy lifting.
Okay.
So
fish, because I see you with a lot of heavy fish lifting pictures.
Well, some people go to the gym, some people fish. I happen to be on the latter end of the scale. Nobody sees the lower half of me in those pictures, so they know that I'm only upper body work.
There you go. So GM of a lodge. Now, be it. We both are mature adults, and so is our audience. It's a boys' club, and how did you find the transition of this?
Well, I mean,
because you're a tomboy.
Well,
I mean that in the most respectful way.
Per se. I mean, I did grow up in a male-dominated world to begin with. I mean, I was a high school football player. I was a sports entertainment wrestler. I know I just raised a few eyebrows out there. No, I am not a manly-looking woman. Ben can confirm this.
Yes.
But really, quite honestly, I was a city princess, and I fell into this in the strangest of ways. We won't even go into that. But I legitimately, this was not my calling. This was not my path. I was not a fisherman by trade. I wasn't a person that went out every weekend. But what ended up happening is I ended up at this position and kind of took to it, and this is so horrible to say, like a fish in water.
Yeah.
I know, everybody's just rolling their eyes.
To use a pun.
Oh, send me to the penitentiary. But, I fell into it, and my first year out there, completely off the grid, we are the only thing on the lake. So I was going from basically being able to shop in Southern Ontario, anything I wanted in 5 minutes. If I couldn't find it there, I drove 2 minutes to find it. And that was a big transition for me. And I realized in that short time that I was there for the first 6 months, because we're 6 months on, 6 months off, that I could do this. The first year, I wasn't doing it as well as I'm doing it now, of course. You get better with time. But that first...
Don't we all?
Well, some of us do. I don't know about you, but
well, my friends would say that I've learned to catch fish. Now it's a matter of size. So.
Oh, see, well, there's a difference between catching them on your own line and netting them. I mean, some people call that catching too.
True.
I'm not sure where you fall in that category.
Well, Captain Paul Marshall will say I'm a pretty good net man.
Well, whatever gets it in the boat, right?
That's right.
In the end,
and that's what
it
takes.
boat,
that's what it takes.
That's right. And then, of course, our motto is getting it back in the water.
Yeah.
So whatever gets it in the boat and gets it safely back in the water. But to go back to where we originally started, I basically fell into this and really decided that I was good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I decide I'm good at something, I can't just be good, I have to be the best.
Oh, yeah.
So I took a lot of time studying. I'm officially a trapper now.
Nice. So do you have like the Elmer Fudd thing and going on, and you got the orange vest and
yes,
your big
I
boots?
do. I have the flappy hat and everything with the rubber boots that squish squish when I go. And yes, I do all my own skinning. I learned from one of the very best, Terry Kaliska. But he's the lodge owner and his wife Tammy, and they were trappers forever. That's how the resort ended up being built.
Mm-hmm.
It was a trapper's cabin to boot.
Yep.
That was where it started. 69 he was 19 years old, and he went out there with a box of nails, an axe, and some used windows.
Awesome.
And he
grew it from there.
That's pretty much what happened. Yeah, he grew it from there, and he lived out there just to trap. And he did other things, like he was an M&R, game warden, a bush pilot, a bulldozer driver, and
that's definitely
it's like Tuesday for everyone, right?
That's an asset to have out there for sure.
Well, he built all the roads out there. I mean, it's a pretty incredible story. I mean, to hear it is one thing, but to actually go out there and live it like I have, you respect it completely differently. When I got out there, I kind of rolled my eyes. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But when you see what these two people can do, it blows your mind. I mean, legitimately, he is the MacGyver of, the pine trees. Like, the boreal forest just is in awe of him. Every animal, it's like the male Snow White. I mean, he walks out and animals just conglomerate to him. And then he harvests them.
Well,
they don't even see it coming.
So, where the lake's situated, you have the trap line around it, so as to ensure that the water is
the trap line came first.
The trap line came first.
The fishing resort came second. So basically, he had the trap line surrounding, above and below, and we have the only boat launch on the lake. And that's called cornering the market. Well, of course, because it's a headwater, and we have some fantastic beavers that have dammed up the river out, and we're the trappers on the lake, and we decided that they can live rent free. As long as they keep growing us big ass fish. That's right. So basically, that's what ended up happening, is that this kind of started off as this trapping paradise, and then Terry had Tammy come out there, who had come from Southern Ontario as well. So she was a city princess with all the amenities, and she always laughs that she went from modern day to Victorian age overnight. She was a pioneer. Pioneer age, right away. Go. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't go as far back as Victorian, but pretty darn close. No electricity, no running water. They didn't have indoor plumbing, nothing. And so basically they trapped and hunted. That's like going to no, never mind. Well, they trapped and hunted to live. Yeah. So, Tammy being an animal lover and all these other things, she went through the same kind of schooling I did, and she realized really quick that, cute and fuzzy also equals survival. Yep. So, it was a full circle of life out there. They utilize everything. Like, we do not throw anything away out there. Like, it is, we have a garbage trailer out there that maybe leaves the resort twice a year, and that's with guests and our own usage. And, I mean, you learn to really enjoy and appreciate everything you have. Well, it's built. It was like it's a family gem. It's like your own heritage. It's your own, you know what I mean? And you want to protect that. And you guys, you have a slot size. We do. We do.
And I think that's fantastic.
Yep.
To be able to set your own slot size, because you guys work with M&R.
Well, we do, and we're the only thing on the lake, so we don't have any other cabins, cottages, campgrounds, nothing. We have 5,000 acres to ourselves. So the lake is spring-fed, so the ecosystem in there is completely just, it's an anomaly. Like, it is truly...
Eutrophic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a paradise. And, you know, a lot of people will say that, and they'll try and sell a product or whatever, but, I mean, we've done catch and release exclusively for trophies. For about 10 years now. And you can see what's happened with that with what we have for trophy-sized fish. Now, we deal with the Ontario Federation of Angler and Hunters, as you well know. We post on their website through their awards program, the Ontario Anglers Awards.com. And we're always within the top 3, generally within the top 2. We're always number 1 for pike and walleye combined for our statistics, and we are, like, if you go on there and check us out, we're the only one with pictures to back up our claims. Like, we have pictures for over 75% of all pictures posted, and we have, believe over 3,700 entries to their award program since 2006. So, I mean, that's a pretty hefty, you know, claim to make and pictures to back up. I mean, the fish have just grown exponentially. I mean, it really is a benefit to any lake to do catch and release for trophies.
Well, and this is, like in our area, right, just to segue from that, Valens is now catch and release.
Okay.
And because from before, I used to watch guys walk off the sheet with 2 5-gallon pails and off they go. Everybody takes 2 5-gallon pails home. What's that going to do to a lake?
Well, essentially, we let our guests take their eater fish. If you're camping with us, you get to take your conservation limits, which in our area is 2 and 2, so 2 pike, 2 walleye, within our slot size.
Now, you call it... So, this year, it's 2014.
Yep.
You guys have redesigned your web page. Your Facebook page is up. You guys also have a Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Twitter
Blogs.
feed. So give us all your handles, and we'll send you on your way.
Okay. Well, if you want to join us at Facebook, it's obviously facebook.com/Wawang Resort. Our website is wawangresort.com. And our Twitter handle is @Wawang Resort. And, of course, like I said, our blog earlier is wawangresort.wordpress.com. And, I mean, hit us up on any of them. And you can email me directly if you have questions, which is trish@wawangresort.com.
Yeah.
Or Tammy at wawangresort.com. That's TAMI as opposed to an M. But, you know, she's the maven of the social media. I mean, I do social media, of course, but, I mean, 9 out of 10 of the things that go up online has gone through a 65-year-old woman.
That's cool.
So
you rock!
I was going to say, if you guys want to feel bad, look at this. She's the most technologically advanced grandma you will ever meet in your life.
There you go.
Hands down.
There you go. Tweeting away.
Well, hey, she got
So
her...
now I know who's tweeting back at me.
Well, no, but that's me sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? I have to give her props because she got her trapper husband, who lived off the grid forever. She got him his first smartphone this year, and he is like...
Does he know how to turn it on?
He knows how to turn it on, and he even texts me. And
That's
he also,
impressive.
Just for y'all in Canada here, he even knows how to look up Canadian Tire, you know, his app on Canadian
There you
Tire,
go.
so he can check his prices every
Perfect.
week.
Canadian Tire's got an app.
They do, and they have the best prices around, so hey.
That's awesome. Trish, it's always a pleasure hanging out and
Thanks, Ben.
talking fishing. Awesome. So there you have it, folks. Wawang Lake Resorts, your next destination for the summer-fall calendar.